want to open the Conservation Commission meeting of October, what is this, 3rd? Executive session with the Select Board with a roll call of who's present. Michael Lesser, present. Courtney?
Courtney present.
Kurt?
Kurt Stiegel, present.
Jacob?
Jacob Strauss, present.
Terry?
Terry Luskin, present.
Steve?
Steve Scrimshaw, present.
Think I've got everybody. Oh, Matt.
Yep, Matt O'Leary present.
Okay. All right. Okay,
All
we're
right,
open.
very good. Okay, so amongst the board, actually, Jeremy, that's right. Town administrator, please read the executive session portion of the agenda.
Sure. The agenda you have for this evening, October 3rd, 2024. You have 3 items in your executive session. Item 1 is a meeting with town council and members of the Conservation Commission, an executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, and Suffolk Construction versus DCAM 449, Massachusetts 444, 2007, to discuss Phoenix Partners Farm Road LLC et al. Versus Town of Sherborn et al. Land Court number 24, miscellaneous 000433, and pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements, specifically the Public Records Law, General Law, Chapter 4, Section 726, discuss privileged communications from town council RE litigation.
Very good. As chair, I declare the executive session is warranted for the aforementioned agenda items, and I move that we move into executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Stephen?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Marianne?
Aye.
All right, please turn off the recording. We're now in executive session.
Okay, hi, everybody. Now going to open up 7:15. I'm opening up the Sherborn Conservation Commission meeting of October 3rd, 2024, the public session. With a roll call of who's present. Michael Lesser, present. Jacob?
Jacob Strauss, present.
Courtney?
Courtney present.
Terry?
Terry Luskin, present.
Matt?
Matt O'Leary present.
Okay. Then who knows if the others will join us, but we're here. So the agenda tonight, let's see. Is there any issues that we need to add to the agenda under the 48-hour rule?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, Steve, since you come in, Steve's, announce your name and present.
Steve Scrimshaw, present.
Okay. Okay. Nothing, so we're not going to amend the agenda from what's posted. Okay. We have a few minutes here. There was a warrant. Oops, what are we doing here? Why is it showing up here? Oh, there we go. Okay, there was a warrant, which I thought we did last time, actually. Some advertising and for our fees to MACC. Does anybody have any questions about the warrant? Okay, moving on. We don't have any minutes tonight because I didn't get to reviewing some that Courtney did. Joyce, do you have any side issues? Or that are short?
I do not.
Okay. On the agent position status, we will interview a couple of a number of candidates who've come forth who are actually for the first time seem to have quite relevant experience. So we'll let you know how that. But you were interviewing next week, the first, just an initial interview. And we'll let you know how it goes at the next meeting. We'll all get to interview somebody when we actually have candidates that get through the first level. Any questions about that? Okay, announcements. There's an MACC fall conference coming up, I think, that you guys have been notified about, so you can consider going there. I haven't looked at it myself as to what's being given there. I don't know what to do when people come in late. Kurt, why don't you announce your name and presence?
Kurt Stiegel, present.
Thank you. Okay, administrative approvals. There are 3 of them. Were they all approved? Joyce?
Yes, no, not, 28 Lake is not yet approved.
Okay, so 2 Surrey Lane for soil testing is approved, and 9 Russet Hill Road for soil testing are both out of jurisdiction. Let's see, what else do we have here? I think we've covered everything, and we have 1 minute before we open one hearing and continue it, and then open up the main topic for tonight of another continued hearing. Just waiting for 7:20 on my clock. It's 7:20. Reopening the continued public hearing on Sherborn wetland regulations and the discussion of drafting amendments to the regulations. As we wrote in the agenda, I now move to continue this hearing to October 17th, 2024 at, should I do 7:20 for now?
Yes,
At 7:20 PM.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Oh, okay, roll call vote. Michael, I, Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and Terry.
Aye.
Okay. 7:21. I'm now reopening the continued public hearing for the notice of intent under the Sherborn bylaw only for lot 465 Farm Road, map 11, lot 60A, proposed construction of a single family dwelling from Bob Murchison. Okay, everybody was sent a draft of the special conditions or the order of conditions. I don't know what other, I guess Joyce, maybe you could, and I think Bob has seen that and DeShang has seen those and he's fine with there, but what changes do we have since it was sent out? That we should go over and
if you-
make sure.
if you open the special conditions, I put in red the things that you changed, the couple of things that you changed or added. Jacob had a question and I wasn't sure how to further address that.
I see, because it conflicts with Michael's edits.
No, not necessarily. It just, I don't know that there is a number.
Okay.
Oh,
let's
I
see.
was, okay. So what I was suggesting was there's this phrase that says if an additional lot is proposed, that we just be specific about how many are there currently, or
If an additional lot beyond beyond lots 2 and 3,
yeah, something like that. Whatever the correct answer there is.
I mean 3 and 4, sorry.
Let's see, is this the draft that you? Is this the thing that you're talking about, Joyce? this
Yes.
version here. Okay. You can see in red, I guess this is for everybody, including especially Bob and Bashang. Do we have the acreage? It's
It's on the
about-
revised plan and I have not changed it yet.
Okay, okay, fine. So that you can just find on the plan. There's just a few small things there. The biggest of any substance is probably is here. Let me make it larger. Can everybody read this? Hearing none.
Would you like my comments on that?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I-
You said hearing none, Michael, so.
I know, hearing that, no, I was just asking for comments on whether it was large enough for people, which is
okay.
not been an issue we have. I'm just reading it because it's more, it's some changes I had, some other changes. I guess I don't know, Jacob, before we get to the applicant. Jacob, is this wording sort of address what you were bringing up?
Yeah, I was just wondering if in the future additional should be clarified as to what point in time did it reference. So yeah, being specific about how many lots are proposed.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of the phrase about lots 3 and 4, but I'll think about that. Does the other commissioners, before I go out for other comments, the other commissioners have any
I
comments
have
on
a
this?
tiny one, and it's more a kind of a logic syntax one.
Sure.
When I see it's in that same item 4, when I see the word if, I expect that later there will be a phrase that includes the word then, that sort of conditional if then. For me, if there's no then the word whether feels determine whether there is a need.
Okay, we could add the if
Make the
Oh, with
the
that.
then.
the
In the next to last line of 4, to determine if a stormwater permit is needed, determine whether a stormwater permit is needed. Anyhow, it's just kind of, the first one is correct. It's in the next line, Michael.
this one,
Toward
yeah.
the end. The planning board will also be notified to determine whether
Okay,
a
Oh,
stormwater
about
permit
that,
is
okay.
needed.
Okay, now, does anybody from the commission have any other comments? I'm still thinking about it myself, but I want to hear from others as well as then from the applicant. Anybody else from the commission? Okay, Bob, what would you like, DeShang?
So I don't like this language because I believe it's going beyond your purview. I've come and I've proposed work in your jurisdiction, and you are, I hope, going to allow the work in the jurisdiction. You've given me quite a substantial amount of mitigation to put in place, and I'm accepting of that. But now it's not clear to me that what you say here changes your regulatory authority at all. You and the planning board, under the town stormwater bylaw, have the obligation, the right and the obligation to regulate stormwater. If and when I do something that triggers that regulation, you have every right to bring it to me, and I expect that you will. If I need to apply for anything with you, I absolutely will. I always do. And I don't know why your regulatory rights as they exist would need to be codified in this order of conditions. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Um,
I have a tiny comment to that point.
sure.
Kind of, I feel like I'm an insurance company commercial, but past performance is no guarantee of future results. Do you know what I mean? So, I just think that it's an appropriate heads up that this is a point of interest for the Conservation Commission, and we just raising it to a kind of an explicit level, but other folks may have another opinion.
I'll also add that we normally don't, this is the first time that I can recall that we get something that's, well, we get sometimes piecemeal. We're getting things in pieces, and we're addressing the stormwater issues on this lot that affect the buffer zone and the resource. But with the idea of having a common driveway as opposed to just a regular driveway, that introduces another level of impact, possible impact, that we want to make clear here. That is a concern, and that we need to relook at something if that changes. Normally, you don't have projects that would have another development that we expect to have, but we don't work on the basis of that. That could impact what's going on this site and the resource area in the buffer zone. Hence this language.
But what in this language is different from your rights to regulate anyway? In other words, I'm confused about what is additive about this language, and I don't understand it. So I'm wanting someone to explain it to me. What do I have to do because of this language that I wouldn't otherwise have to do?
It's not clear to me, whereas maybe it's clear to you, that you'd have to come back to us. But we want to make it, at least my point, and I think some of the commissioners, is that we want to be very clear about the fact that this is an issue that could arise, and that we need to be notified. And whether it's adding or not adding, you think it's the same as what we already have. We just want to be very clear about that. We often have conditions that are basically implicit in the regulations, but that we make very clear to applicants so that there's not any confusion later on. And before you reply, I'll let Jacob and then Courtney talk.
Michael, you covered one of the things I wanted to raise, but another one is that there's a condition here that any future owner of the property gets a copy of these conditions. And so it seems like an area where restating things, even if they are essentially identical to what's in the regulations, is still useful and worth calling out.
Courtney?
Yeah, I mean, we've done that before in terms of, oh, if you see erosion, then you need to contact us and we need to do something about it. I don't think we need to keep discussing it if it's already something that Bob feels he has to do regulatorily, and it's just being written down in excess. I would argue let's just move forward to any questions that are, debated and conditions, so we can just move forward to voting on a permit.
Okay. Bob, you can have one last word on this, since the commission, I think, is.
Well, I guess then I would like for the board to confirm as part of this process that there is nothing in what's been added that creates any additional regulatory authority for the board that it doesn't already have. Because it's not, the way this is written, it's not clear to me. What does it mean will determine whether there is a need for additional stormwater. What you will determine is whether the regulations require it. It's not just you're determining something. It's not your opinion. It's you're following the regulations, right? And
Yep.
so I guess I'm fine with you leaving it in there as long as you say for the record that you're not creating any additional burden on me tonight with this language. Because I'm not okay with additional burden here beyond the regulations.
Joyce?
Well, I may be repeating what other people have said in a different way, but I'm concerned that anything that happens beyond these two lots is absolutely going to contribute to the stormwater measures that you have taken and may overburden them. So yeah, I think that we need to review whatever happens up gradient of this, because it's all going to end down in the rain garden.
Okay.
All the stormwater
Basically,
from
our regulations are, we basically make all of our decisions based on the regulations. I'll just state that.
Okay, then I'm good, Michael. You've stated it. You make all your decisions based on the regulations. This is not creating any additional regulatory burden on me. Then I accept the language. Thank you.
All right. No, I don't think we do that for anybody. In an order of conditions, unless somebody on the commission feels otherwise. It's just an editorial. Little editorial comment here. On the wetland markers you'll add in. They're already on the plan, the number for everybody. I think there's about 6 or 7 along the road there. That has to get filled.
Did someone say 7?
Yes.
Okay,
For
we
sure.
can fill that in. No, thank you.
Okay. Okay, are there any other issues from anybody on the commission before I close the hearing? Yes. Brian Moore. You muted.
Hi, Michael. It's Mary Moore,
Oh, hi.
49 Farm Road. Sorry, I can't figure the camera out here. I just had a question about something that we had raised at the last meeting related to the wetland delineation. I know we had asked about the markers and how that had been sort of reconfirmed. I wasn't sure how that got resolved, and if you could just explain whether or not, there had been agreement on what that new delineation is.
Okay. I guess, Joyce, you might want to say that, but essentially the delineation is based on what you observed in the field with them and looked at other data. So that's all.
Well, if the delineation is the same as the delineation that we had previously reviewed and revised and reviewed again, the limit of land subject to flooding was determined based on what we had observed to be the highest line, and that was marked in the field with stakes early, I think in January.
And if it moved 5 or 10 feet one way or the other, it would not have much impact on the decisions that were made here and the requested restoration and mitigation, so that the conditions here are not that sensitive to some variation in some small variation in what the delineation would be for the isolated land subject to flooding. So that's where we are. So we've accepted what we have there. Okay. Any other comments? I move that we close the hearing on lot 4, 65 Farm Road. And there's no-
Second.
That's it. Okay, any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I. Courtney,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye. Aye.
okay. I will now propose that, the findings as in the draft, that this proposed location of this proposed project of a single-family home with the appurtenances on an undeveloped lot that falls within the 100-foot buffer zone of a land subject to flooding, as well as, I guess we have to change that, it's also vegetated wetland, I believe, Joyce. We have to check.
It's not within the wetland buffer zone.
It isn't within that wetland buffer zone?
No.
Even the road? Well, we'll check.
Part of the common driveway is in the 100-foot.
Yes,
Oh, the common driveway,
I think
yeah.
it is. So, you'll figure this out. I guess I should have been doing.
Like if you want to have the acreage is 1.82 acres, you want to put that
1.8 or what'd you say?
1.82.
Okay. Proposed building of a lot there. And the construction of a driveway as well as a common driveway. And all the related trenching for stormwater and rain gardens and the required restoration mitigation altogether as followed in the order of conditions will lead to the fact that the wetland resources for this project will not be harmed, negatively impacted. And therefore, we approve this project subject to the conditions that are discussed in the new order of conditions. And
So- Oh, are you still going?
nope,
Okay.
Terry,
Second.
she got the cue. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Stephen,
Nay.
Courtney,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
did I get everybody? I lost count. Okay. 6-1, okay. Project can go forth. That's it for tonight then. Let's see. There's nothing left.
Can you stop sharing, Michael?
Yes, thank you. Telling me. Okay. I don't think I'm missing anything on the agenda. Our shortest meeting in many a long time. Okay, fine. Anybody, is there any announcements or anything else? Otherwise, I move to adjourn at 7:42.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I will happily do these minutes.
Okay. Thank you for that discussion point. Roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
And Courtney.
Nay.
What?
I just said nay.
Okay, okay. Meeting adjourned.
All right.
Thank you all.
Everybody.
Thank you.